Avast ye mateys, the seas know me as Matthew, and you've stumbled into the grove. It's your lucky day because I will be teaching you how to play the base game of Ahoy, which was provided and published by Leader Games, designed by Greg Loring Albright, and with art by Kyle Farron. In Ahoy, players control unique factions with different goals and abilities, all trying to earn the most fame. The Bluefin Squadron has roamed the waters for decades, enforcing order as they see fit. The Mollusk Union once lived in these lands. However, they were driven into the deeps, finally rising to reclaim their ancestral home. Both of these factions will look to be in all corners of the map as they gain fame through controlling regions. Then you have the Smugglers, who gain fame by delivering cargo cards, making the regions more wealthy, and a target for both the Bluefin Squadron and the Mollusk Union. Begin by collecting and organizing shared pieces to create a common supply. This is the 20 gold tokens, 25 damage tokens, 11 wealth dice, and 2 battle dice. Next, choose factions based on player count. In a 2-player game, use the Bluefin Squadron and Mollusk Union. In a 3-player game, add 1 smuggler, and in a 4-player game, use all 4 factions. Players should sit in this order: Bluefin Squadron, one of the smugglers, if there is one, the Mollusk Union, and another smuggler if there are 2 in the game. Turn order always follows this sequence. Next, let's get the map ready. Shuffle the 12 region tiles and return 1 face down to the box. Place the rest near the supply area. It is important that players don't know the suit of the island on the map tile removed from play. Now, draw 2 tiles and place them face up on the table so that only 1 space touches between those 2 tiles. You also have to make sure their islands are as far apart as possible, like these ones in front of me. Then make sure you place a wealth die showing the 1 in the center of each tile. Now we're going to prepare the market. If you are playing with 2 or 3 players, return 1 random market card from each suit shown in their top left corner. If playing with 4 players, play with all of the market cards provided. Place the fame track nearby and put each player's fame marker on the 0 fame spot. Now you will reveal 3 of the crew cards, adding them to the marketplace. Anytime one gets taken, make sure that you refill it immediately. That's it for general setup. Now let's discuss how to do each faction-specific setup. Each player rolls their action dice. 5 for the Bluefin Squadron, 4 for the rest. Everyone also starts with 1 gold from the supply. Of note, you must place figures onto the map in turn order. The Bluefin Squadron takes their 10 patrols, 3 strongholds, the first player card, and their aid cards, then place their flagship and 1 patrol on either starting island. Next, if you have one in your game, the smuggler places their flagship on any space that is not an island. Take the smuggler aid card, the 2 pledge markers face down, and place the white and black reward markers stacked in the center of the reward grid. Now the Mollusk Union takes their flagship, cutter, gunship, and 20 comrade tokens, places their flagship and 2 comrades on the other starting island, shuffles the 12 plan cards and draws 2 into their starting hand, and places 6 comrades in the ready section of their board. Finally, if there is a second smuggler in your game, set them up the same way as the first. Phew, now you're all set up, but let's learn about what you'll actually be doing in Ahoy. The game is played over a series of rounds. In each round, players take turns placing dice and performing actions. The Bluefin Squadron has 5 dice and will take 3 turns. They place 2 dice on the first and second turns and 1 die on the third. All other factions have 4 dice and take 2 turns of 2 dice each. You must place exactly 2 dice if available each turn. In the rare scenario that you cannot legally place a die, set it aside. It cannot be used this round. During your turn, you can take various actions. Most actions will involve you placing one of your action die on your player board, ships, or crew member abilities. Let's take a look at the actions that everyone can take. Note, while they are all similar, their exact ability might be different based on the faction you are playing. But we'll cover those discrepancies later. For now, you can do the following. Sail, which allows you to place a die to move your flagship 1 or 2 spaces. Tailwind, which lets you play a die to move your flagship to a space that shows the matching die symbol of the one you played. Cannons, place a die to load your cannons, readying your figures for attack. Don't worry, we will cover battles later. Repair, which allows you to remove up to 2 damage tokens from any of your die slots. This slot can never be damaged and has different requirements for each faction. If you aren't happy with the dice you roll, you can spend a coin to turn the tides in your favor. You may always spend 1 coin to change the value of one of your die by 1 in either direction. Do note that 6s do not roll over to 1s and 1s cannot roll back to 6s. There are also some actions that don't require dice, which means they can be done at any time on your turn. These include smuggling or delivering cargo for the smuggler factions, and all factions can recruit crew from the market by paying the crew's card cost. To recruit, your flagship must be anchored at an island that matches the suit of the crew card, unless an action has given you the ability to forego this requirement. Some cards require 1 or 2 gold, others require placement of a specific die. If you recruit a card that uses a die, that counts as one of your 2 dice actions for the turn. Now, for my favorite part of Ahoy, exploration. Whenever you sail off the current map, you flip over a new region tile and place it where you plan to land. You may choose the orientation for the new tile, however, there is a single rule. No 2 islands can be directly adjacent to each other. Whenever you discover a new region, your movement stops and you anchor, regardless of the number of moves you have left. So be sure to take that into consideration for how you place the tile. After the map tile is placed, add a wealth die with its value set to 1 in the center of the tile. Every region tile has 4 spaces that contain different modifiers. First, you have open waters. There is no inherent benefit from this tile, but they can have other modifiers like treasure or a tailwind. If you end an action at a space and it contains a coin symbol, you gain the number of coins displayed as treasure. Then we have tailwinds. These are tiles that contain a numbered die symbol in the corner. This number indicates the die you must spend when taking the tailwind action that allows you to immediately sail to this location, ignoring all obstacles between you and it. Next, we have strong currents, which are represented by 3 arrows. Whenever a figure is moved to this location, it must move 1 space in the direction of the arrows for free. If you move into the current, they can push you back into the space you just came from. Harbors are a place to fix damage and move die. Whenever your flagship anchors at a harbor, you can repair 2 damages you've sustained throughout the game, or you can move any of your currently placed die into the cannon spot. You are able to spend gold to change the die as it transfers to the cannons. This could be pretty helpful for the Bluefin. Fog makes it impossible to see, meaning that battles cannot happen there. If you're trying to lose someone, it might be a good idea to end your turn in the fog. Now we have wreckage. These hard to navigate waters will make you take damage just by entering their location. Wreckage always contains treasure icons, making them a risky but rewarding place to anchor. If you gain a damage token from a wreckage, you place it in any action spot on your board. Damaged action spaces don't allow you to play a die on that slot until you have repaired it. Finally, we have islands. Islands will have 1 of 6 suits on them. This is important because when anchored at an island, you can recruit crew or smuggle goods from the available market, but only if the symbol in the top left-hand corner matches the island you are at. In the 12 map tiles, there are 2 islands of each suit, but remember, every game has you discard a different tile, so it's hard to tell which suit only has 1 icon in play. Now let's talk battle. Battles occur when a figure moves into a space with another figure and one of those 2 has loaded cannons. The attacker is always the player moving into a space, even if their cannon is not loaded. The attacker and defender must decide if they will modify their attack with their loaded cannon. If you have a die in your cannon slot, you may reduce its value to gain a bonus. For example, lowering a die from a 5 to a 2 grants you +3 to your battle roll. You cannot lower a die below 1, so even if you have a 6 loaded in your cannon, you can only add +5 to your attack roll. These must be declared in order, so the attacker and then the defender. This gives the defending ship a bit more agency over the situation. Now, both sides roll a battle die, add their modifiers, and compare totals. The higher total wins. In a tie, the attacker wins. And remember, gunships and strongholds always count as having loaded cannons, so think twice before sharing waters with them. The winning faction of every battle gets to take a battle victory that is on their player board. When the loser of the battle takes damage, the winner gets to decide where on their ship the damage is taken. Any place a damage token is a place a die cannot go until it is repaired. Also of note, a damage token cannot go in a slot that is already occupied by a die. Also, if you have a loaded cannon and sail into a location with multiple figures, you must battle each figure in whatever order you like. We're almost done, but we still have to cover the asymmetry within each faction. Let's once again start with the Bluefin Squadron. When the Bluefin uses sail or tailwind, they place a patrol where they anchor. At the end of their turn, they may also remove 2 patrols from an island to place a stronghold there. Strongholds always count as having loaded cannons, which provide a +2 bonus in battle, block enemy smuggling and recruitment, and allow Bluefin to recruit crew from that island's suit remotely. Bluefin can only load cannons with dice showing 5 or 6, and they must use a 2 die to repair. The Bluefin also has 3 unique actions. Bombard, which removes all Mollusk comrades from the island in your flagship's region. Order, which allows you to move up to 4 patrols 1 space each. They can battle and explore during movement. Finally, Deploy, which allows you to place 1 patrol in your flagship space or an adjacent space, ignoring battles and terrain. Now the Mollusk Union. The Mollusk use comrades to control islands. They gain readied comrades with the sail and rally actions, and they can place readied comrades on islands with the sail, inspire, or assemble actions. Mollusk also have a deck of plan cards. You draw 2 at setup and 2 more at the end of each round. Plans may be played as actions or at the start of battle, depending on the card. You may talk or bluff about what's in your hand, but you cannot show your plan cards to others. You may also save your plans for multiple rounds. There's no max hand size. Some plan cards bring the unique cutter or gunship into play. The cutter can sail 1 to 3 spaces and doubles the control value of comrades in its region, but it cannot load cannons. The gunship, on the other hand, always has loaded cannons and grants +3 to battle rolls. When either ship has all its die slots filled with damage, remove that ship from the game. Mollusk also have 3 unique actions. Inspire. This allows you to place 1 readied comrade on up to 4 different islands. Assemble. This lets you place 4 readied comrades on the island in your flagship's region. Rally. This lets you gain 4 readied comrades if your flagship is anchored at an island. Last but not least, we have the Smugglers. Smugglers pick up and deliver cargo for fame. When anchored at an island, they may take a market card of the same suit and tuck it as cargo. They do not gain its ability, and they may only hold 2 cargo at once. If they ever gain a third, they must immediately discard down to 2. To deliver cargo, anchor at an island whose suit matches the delivery symbol on the card. You immediately gain 2 fame, increase that region's wealth die by 1 tick, and move your white reward marker to an adjacent space on the reward grid, gaining that reward. Then move the black marker into the space the white marker left. You are never allowed to move the white marker where the black marker is. After delivery, the smuggler may pledge the cargo to either the Bluefin or the Mollusk. At game's end, you gain 1 fame for each region controlled by the pledged faction that matches the pledged cargo's suit. Remember, the suit is the icon at the top left of the card, not the suit of the island you delivered the cargo to. Smugglers also get 2 unique actions. Full Sail, which allows you to move your flagship up to the number of the die's value. Negotiate. While anchored, you recruit any crew card from the market, ignoring cost and suit. You may recruit 1 extra crew if you remove a comrade from the island. After all players' dice are used, the round ends. Bluefin and Mollusk now check each region for control. The faction with more control gains fame equal to that region's wealth die. If there's a tie, no one scores for that region. Smugglers do not control regions, but their deliveries raise the wealth dice, which makes regions worth more points to the other factions. Assuming the game continues, the Mollusk player draws 2 more plan cards, the first player marker moves to the next player in turn order, and everyone rerolls their dice. Now you're ready for another round. The game ends when any player surpasses 30 fame at the end of the round. If smugglers are in the game, they reveal their pledged cargo and score an extra fame for each matching island controlled by the pledged faction. After you've added all the pledged cards, the player with the most fame wins. If there's a tie, the tied player with the most gold wins. Finally, remember the rules hierarchy. Crew and plan cards supersede the core rules described in this teach. Rules that say cannot are absolute and cannot be superseded unless a rule explicitly uses the ignore keyword. And that, my friends, is how you play Ahoy. Whether you rule the waves with cannon and crew, rally comrades to rise up, or slip around the shadows with forbidden wares, there's treasure, trouble, and triumph in every tide. So weigh anchor, ready your dice, and chase the wind. I'll see you next time in the Grove.